I love the RE games, and I'm of the strict survival horror camp rather than the later, more action driven games. The RE2 remake is a gem of the series, not just an excellent remake, but a masterpiece game in its own right. Dare I say that it is an improvement on the original 1998 game, which served as its solid foundation. Recently, I've been doing speedruns on and off for the better part of a year, really, just a bit of escapism, until I decided to redo Claire's A side, or first go, whatever terminology you want to use, slowly, to take my time to really appreciate the level design and to not skip any of the cutscenes to experience the story all over again. Doing this, I was struck by the overt theme of child abuse in relation to the character of Sherry Birkin. This, of course, is a serious topic and will be treated seriously. Yet it should be noted that this theme itself is found in other works of fiction, in various other forms of media, as either a overt or covert piece of subtext. In RE2 Remake, I think the notion of child neglect is pretty overt, but that actual physical abuse is suggested, if not metaphorically displayed. Let's look at Sherry's background. She's the daughter of Annette and William Birking, both high-level geneticists within the evil Umbrella Corporation. We are told that her parents had little time for her and, well, little time for each other, for that matter, being more married to their work than to one another. I think it is very important to say that William is almost certainly a high-functioning psychopath and more than likely complicit in Umbrella's testing and murder of people as part of their medical experiments. In RE0, we see clearly that he is directly involved in the murder of James Marcus. He is also treacherous towards Umbrella, planning to trade the G virus to the US military. And it is hinted in RE3 original that he was deliberately overloading the so-called dead factory with deceased test subjects to ruin its operations, presumably killing more subjects solely for the purpose of blocking up the works with their bodies and thereby spreading the infection. The man has no conscience, okay? He's on par with those Nazi war criminal doctors who ran the death camps. We don't know so much about Annette, but if she worked closely with William, then it is also fair to say that she was almost certainly involved in the killing of test subjects as well. She's pure evil as well. For little Sherry to be in a home environment where both her parents are extremely amoral could not have been a healthy place for her. Even when the outbreak begins in Raccoon City, Sherry is just told to stay home alone. Again, this is more sign of negligence. However, Sherry escapes and undertook it on herself to find her mother, who she suspected was somewhere in the area of the police station. And meanwhile, William had begun his rapid mutation from his self-medication of the G virus. And it is here in the game that we see that he starts yelling for Sherry. It is this freak Birkin's hunt for Sherry, which to me is symbolic of child abuse. You see, Birkin had always been a monster, but the G virus just let this energy out of him. And the reason why he is hunting for Sherry is for the sole purpose of sexual reproduction, by implanting one of the so-called G embryos into a compatible host. This is incestuous rape. That Sherry's remaining love for her father, as well as her mother's attempts to stop the monster, are shown, are also sad echoes of the realistic dynamics that go on within abusive families. Annette's abandonment of Sherry to me is where Claire really changes from being just someone trying to rescue a girl into essentially becoming Sherry's new mother. The scene of her carrying the infected Sherry and then dressing her in her jacket is symbolic of this thematic adoption. And this new relationship is then finalized when Annette, on her deathbed, essentially hands over wardship of her daughter to Claire. Even darker than child abuse, there is the theme of child murder found within the remake. The whole presence of the orphanage in the remake is based on the covert murder of orphans for Umbrella's experiments. The entire population of the orphanage is slaughtered as part of Umbrella's cover-up during the early phases of the outbreak. That Sherry is taken here by Chief Irons, himself a serial killer of women, again highlights the danger that surrounds the poor girl.